How's it going, guys? It's Josh here. So a couple of months back I reviewed some bone conduction sunglasses made by a company called Aftershokz, and well, I wasn't that impressed. I thought they were overpriced, cheaply made, and just not that good. However, to their credit, Aftershokz have been hard at work creating some new bone conduction headphones that go by the name of Aeropex, which they assure me are much better than the last product I tried, and also an improvement on the already existing and pretty successful Tesseract Air headphones. I'm surprised they wanted to send me any more products, to be honest, after the last review I did, but anyway, fair play, here we are. Now, if you're not familiar with bone conduction headphones, basically they let you listen to music without having to have anything in your ears. Pretty cool and potentially very useful to people who do a lot of running or cycling, because since there's nothing actually in your ears, you can still hear ambient sounds, which means you're no longer oblivious to the world around you. Anyway, here's the unboxing. It does come very nicely packaged, actually. Obviously, we have the headphones. We'll take a closer look at them in just a minute. Moving on to the accessories box. Inside this, we find a nice pouch to store the Aeropexes in, 2 charging cables, a spare in case you lose one. Now, it is a proprietary connector, so yeah, try not to lose both of them. We also get a user manual and warranty info, along with some earplugs, which I was kind of confused as to why these are included. However, I tried them, and the sound does actually like double in quality if your ears are blocked while using bone conduction. So I guess if you'd taken these on the train or something and you wanted better sound quality, then you could plug your ears. Still kind of weird though. So here's the new Aeropexes next to the slightly older Tesseract Air. As you can probably tell, the new ones are noticeably smaller than the previous version. The transducers are a lot less bulky and the whole thing just looks smaller in general. 30% smaller in fact. Now of course this also means that they're lighter as well, coming in at 26 grams, which is 4 grams less than the Tesseract Air. And although on paper it doesn't seem that much lighter, it is a noticeable difference when you're wearing them. I mean seriously, it barely feels like you're even wearing anything now, they are that light. Now what is impressive is how well they stay in place. I'm not sure how they've achieved this, but you put them on and they just don't budge. Very, very cool and perfect if you're using them for running or any other sport which involves a lot of movement. Now the Aeropexes do have IP67 water resistance, which is a pretty big improvement on the IP55 rating found on the Tesseract Air. That means you can now completely submerge them in water. Now I know what you're probably thinking, I can go swimming with these, great, which yeah, I guess you kind of could. Except Bluetooth doesn't really work well underwater. But at least you can have confidence knowing that they're definitely not going to be destroyed by water. They work pretty well in the shower, for example. Battery-wise, they've actually reduced the size of the battery down to 145 milliamps, down from 180 milliamp hours on the Tesseract Air, I guess to help with weight. However, despite the battery being smaller, the battery life has been improved. You can now get 8 hours use out of these, which is 2 more hours than the previous model offered. You've got all the usual media controls that you'd expect. There's a button on the left side that handles skipping tracks and answering calls. And then your volume controls are on the underneath of the right side. Moving on to sound, this is where it gets rather interesting. There's definitely a difference between the two models, you can hear that immediately. But after some extended listening, here's my thoughts. The older model had better bass. I'm not sure if it's got something to do with the physically bigger transducers, but the sound is a bit more full and the bass is definitely more punchy. Now the new Aeropexes have better clarity and I would definitely say an overall preferable listening experience. They also seem to handle louder volumes better. You don't feel as much of a tingle when they're on full volume like you did with the Tesseract Air. There's also a lot less sound leakage, which is good, so you won't annoy someone else in the same room as much. Interestingly as well, I tend to listen at about 80% volume, and at that volume they don't feel like bone conduction anymore. It's kind of hard to explain, but there's pretty much like no vibration at all, so you don't feel anything weird. And the sound quality is good enough to the point where you're not really reminded that it's perhaps a technically inferior sound when compared to real earbuds. You just feel like you're listening to music from speakers. It's really cool. Now, I've been using these at the gym and for early morning walks, and honestly guys, I prefer these over my Samsung Galaxy Buds. I mean, like I said, bone conduction just doesn't sound as good as using earbuds, especially with stuff like rock music. It can sound a little bit muddy, but I just find it way more comfortable in general. Now, I don't know if anybody else gets this, but I can't really keep earbuds in for more than like half an hour. I just find they kind of give you ear fatigue since the sound is going straight into your ears. But yeah, these, I can listen to music on them for hours without my ears feeling tired. They're really good. So yeah, after kind of slating the Rev sunglasses that I tried last time from Aftershokz, I am happy to report that I can actually recommend this product. If you do a lot of sports, or like me, you just don't find earbuds that comfortable, you'll definitely like these. They're very lightweight to the point where you kind of forget you're wearing them. And bearing in mind that it is bone conduction, the sound quality is very good. I certainly wasn't disappointed. If you've already got the Trex Air, I wouldn't say you need to rush out and upgrade. However, if you don't already own a pair of bone conduction headphones and you would like to get some, I think the Aeropex would be the ones to get, as they have been improved in several areas. If you want to buy a pair, guys, I'll have Amazon links in the description. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop us a comment. I do try to reply to every single one of you. What do you guys think of these, by the way? Let me know. Subscribe for more content, guys. Unsubscribe, resubscribe, ding the bell, unding the bell, whatever people do. Thanks for watching today, guys. Have a good week. I'll catch you all in the next one.